Good morning, St. Lucia. Thank you so much for waking up with us. I'm your host, Chayla Mendez. Of course, I know you know that. And of course, we're starting you off the right way. And today, my guest is Marva Oculier, and she is with the Red Cross. And they have a very exciting project, something that's going to not only benefit you, but St. Lucia by extension. And it's called the Zika Project. She's going to tell us more about that. But first, Marva, thank you for being on the show. How are you doing today?
I am good, and I feel even better knowing that we are able to share with St. Lucia ways that they can prevent Zika virus so that we can contribute to the reduction in the number of cases on island.
Great. Now, I know the Red Cross, of course, this is your big special project coming out. And you know what better way than to kick off this new year with this? So just let St. Lucia know exactly what the Zika project is all about.
Well, the Zika project is our response to the number of cases of Zika that we have on island. We have been in the past doing our community little talks and interventions, town hall sessions, that sort of thing. But what the project does is that it puts us in a situation where we can do an island-wide intervention, focusing on communities, focusing on a sustained action that communities continue to remember to clean up. So that's why we're focusing on clean up, cover up, and keep it up. So we want people to understand if we continue to clean our communities, we continue to cover up our cells or the sources of water that we have in the communities. And that last three words, keep it up, would be something that we would do every day. And for us now, what we're asking is for once a week. So the Zika project would carry that message for the next 9 months throughout the community. And it includes also the distribution of mosquito nets, the distribution of commodities, specifically condoms, and we're also looking at repellents, mosquito repellents. There's an element to the project where we're going to actually visit the antenatal clinics to speak with the pregnant mothers so that they can discuss with what particular things that they may have. And so some of our volunteers are also trained in psychosocial support that they can offer emotional support to persons whom are experiencing the symptoms of Zika or who may have a family who is affected, especially the pregnant mothers.
Great. Now, you know, sticking with that too, I know you mentioned condoms, and I'm pretty sure maybe a few viewers might be like, condoms, what does that have to do with Zika? But I know that I've read and also heard through news clippings that Zika can also possibly be spread through sexual intercourse, correct?
Yes, and that's the thing about Zika. It's still a new virus. We're still in a lot of things. And one of the new sets of information is that there's a possibility for sexual transmission. And so that is why we're looking into, or part of the plans or the project is the distribution of condoms. But we're not just distributing it, but we're also teaching them how to correctly use it, because it doesn't make sense that you get something and you don't know how to use it properly. And another tool that we're using is the mobile phone, which we know everybody has one of. Yes, the mobile phone. We actually have first aid and hazard apps. These are our life-saving apps. They're free mobile apps. They've been around for about a year now, but it has been upgraded to include information on Zika, because we realize that very often when somebody wants information, that's the first thing they grab, that cell phone. And so the information is there on your phone. There are frequently asked questions. There's information specifically for pregnant mothers. There's a checklist that you can use to determine what are some of the things that you have in place at your home, at your community level, at the family level, that you can use to prevent your family or yourself from contracting Zika virus.
Great. Now, of course, we know we're in a technological age, and especially a lot of persons will say, you know, the youth is very out of touch with what's happening, or you want to have them engaged even more. So how do you see this feature now, the mobile app, you know, helping to really rally the youth here in St. Lucia with the fight on Zika and, of course, disaster preparedness?
One of the features of the mobile app is that we can send broadcasts to everybody who has it downloaded on their phone. They can receive broadcasts from us. And actually, my member or my colleague who works with me on the app is a youth member. She's a young person, so she can devise some of the messages just for her group of persons that can share the message. But more so, the Red Cross is an organization where youth are our predominant membership. And so they are involved in the process that at the school level, whether it is at their school branches or at the community level, that they are involved in the process. Yes.
Perfect. So, St. Lucia, listen, this is hot, this is new, this is fresh, and of course, it's about keeping us
It's
safe.
keeping us safe. We need to make sure that we're safe. We need to make sure that Zika. We understand that Zika is not about the Red Cross. It's not about the Ministry of Health. It's about all of us. So St. Lucia, clean up, cover up, but most especially keep it up.
And you know what? One quick thing, you need to tell people how they can download that app because we cannot close the show off and not hook you up as well so you can stay up to the times too.
Well, it's a process that I have to walk you through. You go into Google Chrome, and at the top of the bar, you would type in 3cu.be, the word share, SHARE LCA, and everything else comes on the screen. Walk you through whether it's an Android or an iPhone, everything else. But what it is that when you have downloaded that app onto your phone, you don't need data to access the information after that. You just need the data to download. After that, everything is on your phone.
Great. So zero excuses not to have this app, people. So make sure you get hooked up as well. And of course, follow the Zika project. Look out for your reps, your Red Cross reps in your community as well. So there's so much more to come. And we hope most of you get this app and that way we'll all stay connected and of course remain in the know. Good morning, St. Lucia. Wake up. It's time to wake up the right way. And of course, we spoke about the children's book fair happening at the town hall, and we were able to catch up with one of our own St. Lucian writers. And of course, I know you're very familiar with this face. You know her from Nemo. Of course, we have Dawn French with us, but did you know that Dawn French also writes? So she is really the genius behind Dawn Books, and we're going to get to know a lot more about this side of you, Dawn. So first of all, thank you very much for being here with us. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Literally wearing a different hat.
Yes,
So thank you for coming and giving the exhibition some exposure to the rest of St. Lucia.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I thought it was a great initiative. And of course, first I heard a book fair, didn't realize that it was specifically with our St. Lucian authors and writers. So I was actually in awe when I stepped into here and noticed that every book that I looked at is by St. Lucians. So of course, by extension for St. Lucians. And I love that. So tell us your story with, writing. How did this begin for you?
Yeah, as you said, people mostly know me for my work at Nemo.
Yes.
But my friends always know that I have always written. And so if you go back into the newspapers from, a few decades ago, you will find, little poems by Dawn French in the Voice newspaper. And you take this moment to really thank the Voice newspaper, because I don't know if the guys at the team, they realize what they do, because they continue in the Yo magazine. Publishing work of young people is such a boost as, 5, 6, 10, 15-year-old to have something in writing, because at that age you can't afford to publish. But you send it into the Voice newspaper and they print it, and you can come home waving the magazine or the newspaper, look, my name is in print. And so that's really how I started, and I continued writing. When I became director Nemo, I brought that skill set to writing the disaster plan for St. Lucia. And for a couple of other islands, I got called in regionally to write for other islands as well. And then since I've left Nemo, I've gone back into the more mainstream of writing. But now it's 2015, 2017. Publishing is so much easier.
Now, of course, this is a children's book fair happening right here. So tell us about some of the books that you have on display here today, and a little bit more about your works.
Well, all my fiction is based in St. Lucia, regardless of what the topic is. So I've dealt with death, I've dealt with fantasy. I have a series I've now begun that tickles many of my friends, called Peanut. She's 8. Her nickname is Peanut, and she's 8 years old, and she's curious about a lot of things. And I've just finished one for the National Reparations Committee, because Peanut wants to learn about what is the big deal about reparations. And reparations is such a heavy topic for adults, far less trying to explain it to an 8-year-old. And so using that skill set, I've used Peanut to try and explain to little ones what reparations is about.
Well, you know what? I think this is an amazing initiative, and we always say we find the youth don't like to read. So this is really where it starts. So St. Lucia, make sure you come out, family, come out with your kids, schools, come out with the children, let them be exposed to this. And again, a lot of these books, like Dawn said, all of her stories have a tie to St. Lucia in it, which is something that's very great. So I know you have a collection here. If you can just go through the titles and of
Okay.
course just a quick summary or synopsis of what it's about.
So we have the inside story where it's literally that, because if you look at the cover, you will see it's inside. So all the action takes place inside the body, which in its own way explains how the body works. And it's a collection of short stories. Then this is part of a series, Noel. So it's all Christmas themed, but it's set in a fantasy land, but it's in St. Lucia. So you use the Crapo Express to move your luggage, and you get the Newsvine, the Leon Newsvine. So it's all based in St. Lucia. We have the ABC book, which teach kids, and because of my background, if Nemo, it's all a disaster management theme. So it's also apart from teaching you your numbers and letters, it also teaches you some disaster management concepts, and it's also a coloring book. I have Invictus, which is it's about death, and hence the cover. But it's also a tribute to a number of friends who went to school with me, who died before the age of 50, and there have been quite a few of my classmates who have transitioned to the beyond, and we really feel it as classmates with them. And then I mentioned the Peanut, right? It started as in a writing class and has exploded into 9 titles at the moment. And I have friends throwing ideas at me. Let Peanut do this and let Peanut do that and let Peanut do the other. So I suppose there'll be a lot more Peanut to come down the pipeline. But so we have 1, 2, 3 series, and then the standalones.
Perfect. Well, St. Lucia, all these books are here. They're available and as well for
Yes,
sale.
the authors will have their books on sale, and we're also we have a schedule. We'll be here, various authors will be here at 10 o'clock in the morning to meet people, do readings, sign books, make sales. We're here for the whole week.
Great. So make sure you come out St. Lucia, come and experience it. They have some really good deals on these books. But again, it's great to actually read literature that ties in with our culture. So come out and experience it for yourself. They're here for the rest of the week. Lucia, good morning. Listen, I hope you're feeling the energy, because in this section here, I am at the Children's Book Fair, I should say, right here at the Town Hall. And there's so much energy in this section. I think it's action-packed. And you know what? I have Petra Auguste here with us, and she's going to tell us about her little creation. Well, I should say it's not that little, because it's so much big works happening right here. But she's going to tell us about her character, Chief Tree, and exactly what she's doing with her books here for children in St. Lucia.
Okay, so good morning, St. Lucia. We realized at the preschool that the children were coming in with too many unsavory foods, what we didn't really want them to be eating. So in order to try to get them motivated and wanting to eat local as well as very healthy, we created the Chief Tree character here, which much like Barney and Dora and SpongeBob would motivate the children to eat healthy so that they could be healthy. So as you can see, we have our fruits, our vegetables, and so on the Chief Tree character. In addition to that, to keep the children motivated, I wrote a book, and it's a first, I hope, in a series to come. It's both an activity book, because they can color the characters, and a storybook which tells them about food from the farm to the fork. And so we've created characters such as Connie Coconut, Marla Mango, Terry Tomato, there's Farmer Floyd, who is in charge of the farm, and that's what the entire story is based on.
Now with your book as well, I know it's not only just for the kids, because you do have a manual for parents as well to guide them, because I'm a parent as well, though my son is about 7, but you always find sometimes you get the activity books and you still for yourself want that guidance to really make the best use of it, especially for the children. So tell us more about that as well too.
Okay, the instructional manual is age appropriate. So a parent with a younger child and your 7-year-old can read the story and ask the children questions about the story, have them dramatize, have them role play the different characters in the storybook. For the older ones, you can go a little further as to what is farming, how does the food grow, how does it get to the supermarket, how do we keep the environment friendly so that we can get the organic food that we really need. And so the instructional manual would assist in asking the children age-appropriate questions so that they could really get the concept.
Now with that too, sticking with the keeping healthy theme, and of course with Chief Tree, of course, being a major character here, I've also spied that there's noodles, but noodles with a difference. So Petra's going to tell us about that.
Okay, the children love pasta, and we know it's easy to cook, easy to prepare, but we want them to use food that is gluten-free, that is healthier. So the pasta that we've developed is based with plantain flour, and we're still experimenting with dasheen and breadfruit flour, macambo flour, to see which ones the children would really adapt to. And we've added extracts such as carrot extract, beet extract, spinach extract, to make it colorful and to make it friendly to the children, but at the same time being healthy.
Great. And of course, all of this is under the Chief Tree brand. So,
Tree brand.
you know what I'm seeing here? This is like an empire growing. So we have Chief Tree, because just like you said, you have Barney and all of that. So now we have our local character, Chief Tree, with all his friends. And of course, it's about eating healthy. So from the aprons to the books.
To the t-shirts, and we have in mind all the other things that we can develop, because Delia was talking, don't tell anybody, about a carnival band, a Chief Tree carnival band. So we're looking forward to great things using Chief Tree, but at the same time, creating a generation of children who are healthier. We reduce our food import bill if we can get those little ones to start eating healthy from now. The hypertension, the diabetes, the cholesterol, we're going to take care of that.
Great. So St. Lucia, this is why again you need to come out. So this is all happening at the Children's Fair, and I mean it's so great meeting you, Petra.
Same here.
Amazing personality. Like I said, this section just is popping. So you need to come out with the kids. The entire place is carpeted, so the kids can really be hands-on. Pick out a book that they connect with. I can see the little ones connecting with Chief Tree, sitting on the mat and reading or role playing. So come out with the kids, because it's not only about coming to see books. It's an experience. There'll be readers here as well, and there's so much happening. So come out and see Chief Tree and friends.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, St. Lucia, so this is the end of our show for today. And like I said and promised, if you weren't feeling good, I know for sure right now you're definitely in tip-top shape, better spirits. And a special good morning to anybody who's suffering with a cold or the flu or any kind of illness, because I know right now there's a treacherous strain of the flu going around. I had it. I don't wish it for anybody. So St. Lucia, let's stay healthy, drink fluids, lots of vitamin C, and again, keep watching This Morning. That's what you didn't realize your doctor also put on your prescription. So make sure you tune in. Tomorrow is Free Up Friday. So we're going to have a really great show. Soca Size coming through your way as well. So I'm looking forward to waking up the right way with you tomorrow, right here on DBS.